Muy buenas tardes, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. As always, muchas gracias to everyone for everyone's words, wishes, prayers, as the love and support everyone extends and shares my way from the heart. Muchísimas gracias. Also, do please like, share, subscribe, and hype the video. Gracias. Well, everyone, today I want to get into a real quick one that I've been wanting to share with you guys. You know, it goes on saying and saying, the image comes first before family. Well, this is one of them times where I seen it firsthand how it was more important carnales per se in the organization than familia, right? And for this, I want to take you back to 2013 Pelican Bay. At that time, well, you could say it's Psycho from Avenues was having his little power struggle now with Sal and Rudy, and then from San Diego, right, for Valle Imperial, because well, he didn't win it from Sherm or Sleepy, right? It fell in his lap because Sherm left to the feds, and Sleepy, well, he basically checked in, right? But anyways, going back to those days, I went out to court. As going out to court, I ran into a homie, the homie S or stranger from Avenues. He was somewhat of a source of a nephew or stepson or something like to that effect of Pee Wee, right? And well, you go through the whole go arounds, right? Where you at? You're this senor, this camarada. So I told him, Simon, I'm close by. Well, I could touch base with Psycho. You need me to extend anything to him? And again, I don't know what part of family he was of them. He was directed more towards Pee Wee though, right? Just basically tell him, hey, that you seen stranger and that I said, Theo, I want to be going out to the feds and I'm gonna address that. That simple. Nothing else said, right? But at this time, had already been how could I put it? Been beat around enough to know not to stick my nose in things that don't belong to me. So I did deliver the message, but not like so. I basically just got at the Pili and I told him, hey, señor, con todo y dado respeto, I ran across your nephew, stranger. He told me he senses and that he's going to be going out to the feds. That's it. Because that's the only part that I could say that is not going to ricochet my way. If you guys get what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to get in a family feud, especially one that don't belong to me, and I have no bone I'm winning, you know? So we left it at that. You know, next year, exactly 1 year away from that message, there was all this up and downs of the two Pillies warring with each other, and it demonstrated in little Pee Wee, right? For the things little Pee Wee was doing, Psycho sent him to get checked, not soft checked though. You guys get what I'm trying to say? So by him doing so, he basically opened that window where, you know, all that protecting your carnal type of thing, the enemy comes first type of thing, right? So that happened, and then you heard different crews from different, not getting along no more, not at war like per se, but they weren't uñi mugre no more. So, anyways, fast forward, I went to the feds, and in Atlanta is where the homie Stranger was at. He was in touch with his stepdad. I guess Pee Wee Senora was homeboy's mom, right? So I don't know what you would call it, but the lady's been with Pee Wee for so many years, being loyal to him, never sidestepping whatever, and it always happens, that power gets to their head where they think they're above the program. They start caring less and less and less if it's just mafia, if it's familia, if it's mostly about what's going to benefit them, right? So, anyways, I guess Psycho was trying to pull her away from Pee Wee. We'll just leave it at that without getting into palabras, right? And I guess one of them times is Stranger found out. How he found out, that's not really relevant to the topic, right? Could have been overhearing. His jefita tired told him, whatever. But it was basically the jefita scared, What do I do? I go against one or the other. We're done. You're out there game banging the neighborhood. So, this goes back to what I always open the glimpse to, right? We're game banging. We're fed what we need to hear in order to keep pushing for that. That's a lie. So in the midst of this, Stranger got told, "Hey, well, you need to get up there. You need to earn your huesos. Get up there and discuss it straight with another Pili, right? They cannot step on each other's toes. It's something that goes against the rules and guidelines, right? So whoever told him, Stranger must have had some trust on him or whatever, right? It could have just been an older homie that earns that respect, but he has sugar in the tank at the same time, right? And anyways, homeboy did that. He went to the feds. It's obvious he told Pee Wee, it's how the little conflicts were starting, and you were seeing Psycho lose, Imperial Valley, because he didn't have the full family backing him up no more, right? For one, Pee Wee, two, Robert Aguirre, he wasn't going to get involved. I don't think he was that dumb, especially over a Heino. And one that's been there with Pee Wee since he got busted. He could practically call strangers kid for reals. But anyways, you know, at the moment there was a big avenue that the homies from avenues were taking care of. This is way before anything happened or anything came out to flow, right? They were already taking care of that. So there was a lot of loss if they were to put aside for the organization, not just for them, which is basically you're spreading lemon in a wound, right? Don't matter how big you are in the organization, you you cause a wound in the movements of things, and then throw lemon on it, you're gonna feel the repercussions. No buts or ribs, or maybe no. So I couldn't really tell you the behind the scenes conversations amongst Pee Wee and Psycho, right? Nor what angle they did him through. The whole point of the story is, again, this Heina was there with Pee Wee from the get go, right? Think about it. 1998 to 2016, being loyal to this individual. The kids calling him Pops. Because if you really sit down, Pops is the one that raises him, per se, right? But at the end of the day, it was about they bring chaos to themselves from their own brothers, or they silence them. So they did the next best thing, which is to help little Pee Wee clean up his BS. They shot him a couple of appeals where he had the ranks in the neighborhood to have the mom, the son, and there was one more. There was three of them. But there's no need to mention her in this, I guess. Taken out. And if you guys know something about the Aguirres, is they're gonna fall through with it. It don't matter who it is. So it happened to the thought. So again, here's another perfect example on what happens to you to always respect another carnal's hyena, wife, family, never step on their toes, you know, and if you do so, that's a death sentence. The messed up part is, when they hit stranger in the feds, that fool they lock it up. But he became a peseta, like them cats that claim to be good, but they do all the debriefing rata stuff. So he never held his tongue back. And it just happened that in the hole where he was around other Pilis, he yelled it out the door. You killed my jefa, you killed my sister, you took me out the program just cause my deal was trying to take my mom away from my dad, Pee Wee. What happened to all this and this? And he starts naming it, right? You vatos are fool. You guys know how they get down. So it was looked further into by Shy, because right now Shy has the plomazos in the feds. Facts. The only problem is Pee Wee fell with Shy. They have a special bond there. And if anybody knows things about Shy, know everything he do is turn people their boat in the organization to maintain strong. So it's that easy to sweep 20, 25 years under the rug, and it's not even your fault. It's just another greedy individual that is your primo hermano that is jealous. You have a loyal hyena, and he has to go through a couple of them, and he's feeling the pressure by other pilis because of the war he has. So he tries to take what's yours. And of course, you, for not having the backbone and saying, La M comes first. You're violating what we are. Chacas. You see, it only works when it has to do with camaradas or something that don't benefit them. What happened to rules are written in stone, never to be changed. Because I guarantee you, a camarada does that, chacas, you're done. You know, it's just the type of thing that I want to be opening up a small glimpse into it. Not so you act on it. No. Again, I'm not on here to spread poison. I'll do what you gotta do at all times for your neighborhood, even for them battles. I do it for that glimpse so that if you're ever around anything to this, you're able to see it and stay away from. You see what I did with the message? I delivered it, but I wasn't dumb enough to deliver it and throw psycho on me. That's all this is. Stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones.